2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 1. And I'm doing my 681st King James Version Bible read. I'm going to do something different today. I'll try something new. And I'm hoping and praying that I could save some time for us to discuss these things, or at least these coiny Greek words. So let me just read it first. Verse 1 of 2 Corinthians chapter 12. It is not expedient for me, doubtless to glory. I will come to visions and revelations of the Lord. First line, kind of deep, right? Too deep. But let's try to check the Koine Greek words. So I wrote down the actual Koine Greek transliteration and then the Koine Greek transliteration pronunciation. Pronunciation is this. This is what we're about to read. And then after that, I'm gonna share. One moment, let me just turn the page to the next page. KJV translation original arrangement. So meaning, uh, if this is the first word in Koine Greek, this is the first word that we will be reading on this part. And then KJV translators arrangement, when they've rearranged the structure of the words to make to make an English sentence that understandable. And then lexical meaning. So this is the actual arrangement of the Koine Greek words. So it will not make sense to you guys, but we have here a more literal rendering and then more modern rendering. So that's the format that I'll be doing today. So let's go ahead and read the actual pronunciation of the transliteration, the actual verse. Kaukastai dei u sumferei moi. Let me just read it back. Kaukastai deu sumferei moi. Eleu eleu somai gar eis optasias kai up sorry kai up okay alupsis kai up okay alupsis kuriu kuriu. All right, let me just check if I can show it to you. This is it, guys. Kuriu Lord. Now, all right, so KJV translation. So this is the actual sequence of Koine Greek words. To glory, doubtless not, is expedient for me, I will come. And then the Koine Greek word gar, in KJV it is implied. There's no word or there's no translation for gar, but it is actually implied. So I will come to visions and revelations of the Lord. See that? Doesn't make sense, right? Now, this is how KJV translators arranged the wording to make a sentence, an understandable sentence, right? What we've read earlier. It is not expedient for me, doubtless to glory. I will come to visions and revelations of the Lord. So somehow it is actually if we read it, it's like it is much better in terms of flow instead of the actual translation from the actual Koine Greek words positions. All right. Now, lexical meaning. So the first one, so every word has an open and closed parentheses, meaning once we move on to the next word, we will be reading the next open and closed parentheses words. Every word that is inside an open and closed parenthesis word, it means it could those words are the meaning of the actual Koine Greek word in English. All right. So the first one is to boast, to glory, to take pride in. So the next word, Koine Greek word, is indeed, surely, doubtless, or now. So depending on the context, so it could be used doubtless, it could surely could be used as well, or indeed, or now. Later on, now is going to be important as well. And then the next word, not no. The next word is profitable, is beneficial, or is advantageous. That is expedient. That's the word expedient in KJV. And then to me, for me, I will come, I will go, or I will proceed. Now, gar has an actual lexical meaning. but in KJV it's an implied word. Gar in lexical meaning for, because, or indeed. Now the next word is into, to, or toward. The next word is visions, appearance, things seen. So probably that's referring to visions. And then the next word is and or also. And the next word is revelations, disclosures, or uncoverings. So it could go both ways or either way. And then the next word is of the Lord, belonging to the Lord. That's kuriyu. That's kuriyu. Now, more literal rendering. It is indeed not profitable. So expedient. It is indeed not expedient. It is indeed not profitable for me, for Apostle Paul, for me to boast. To boast. Remember yesterday when I said verse 33, the last verse yesterday, is actually fitting for the ending of chapter 11, because now we are transitioning to a new chapter. And this new chapter, Apostle Paul is saying, see the things that I'm boasting yesterday. Let's say yesterday, or on chapter 11, all those weaknesses, trials and tribulations, struggles, hardship. It's not profitable for me if I'm going to boast it. The only reason why I boast it, yes, or on the last chapter, is because to prove them wrong. Those super chiefest false apostles are wrong with their claim or their slander. All right. So in modern rendering, this is how it goes. At least for me, when I wrote it down. I've also put into consideration all the research that I've done. So boasting about these things is not beneficial to me. He's talking about chapter 11. Boasting about those things. Remember, I would be a fool, but listen to me. I'm gonna play the game that they are playing. I'm gonna look like a fool, sound like a fool, but please pay close attention. And now Apostle Paul is saying on the first verse of chapter 12, boasting about these things on chapter 11 is not beneficial to me. But I will now see that the word indeed, doubtless, or doubtless, the word indeed, it has a word now there, right? But I will now speak about the visions and revelations I received from the Lord. So it's now gonna make sense. So the last verse on chapter 11 is actually perfectly connected on the first verse of chapter 12, because Apostle Paul is now going to, oh, yeah, let's say yesterday and today. Yesterday, I've talked about this, but now I'm going to talk about the Lord. So the reason why we just tackled one verse today is because I'm preparing for tomorrow, because we're going to tackle three verses tomorrow. Because I'm trying to check if I could at least get two from those three verses, but it will not fit. I have to go through those three verses tomorrow. So chapter 2, 3, and 4 tomorrow. So anyways, yeah, we've saved up time, but I'm not pretty sure if you've got what I've just presented to you. So just to make clear, right? This is the lexical meaning. And every close and open parenthesis, is referring to one Koine Greek word. And one Koine Greek word could mean to boast, to glory, or to pride, take pride in. So what is that Koine Greek word? It is this word. The pronunciation is kaukastai. 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 See what I mean? So in KJV, it is not expedient. However, in Koine Greek, the first word is to boast, to glory, or to take pride in. So why am I saying this? It is really hard to translate, especially back then in 1611. Imagine there's no internet, and probably the books back then is the resources is not enough compared to what we have right now. So we need to give them leeway. The reason why I'm saying this, because people who anti-Christ or people against Christ or going against Christ will use the wording from the translations. So if you are a thinking mind, the first thing that you will be asking, where did the translations came from? And now, if you've asked that question, now the next question is the original copies from where they got the translation available? Now the answer is it is available. So there's an interlinear Bible available online, or you can directly search in Google if you want an unbiased. So if it's unbiased, it's coming from Google. So what is the meaning of this word? Kaukastay. You can guide the prompt. I've done my research. You're typing. I've done my research. This is a Koine Greek word. What is the meaning of this word in English? Back then, in their time, and if you're going to translate or if you're going to show me the meaning of that word, this Kaukastay word, what does it mean today? So you can do your cross referencing. So you could come up to an English sentence that will be understandable today, because back then in KJV they're using an old archaic words. So it's going to be hard for them to translate it. Imagine this. Imagine what I've shown to you earlier. Too many words that could be used from one Koine Greek word. So imagine if you have 10 to 20 words in one verse. Now you need to align it for English readers to be able to understand it. So it's going to be hard. It's going to be a lot of works to do. But if you're trying to uh, get to the truth on what our Lord God said when He uses the author of the books, the information is available. You just need to put your time in it. Uh, if you're doubting, if you're doubting the translations, for me, I'm not doubting the translations. The reason why I'm doing this is not I have to know. I want to know as well. So this is just a want. This is just a want. So yeah, not gonna stretch this anymore. I'm gonna let you go. So God bless you guys. Keep safe. I'll be seeing you tomorrow. Bye for now.